that was I'm saying that was Miguel and J. Cole. You know what I'm saying, Come and Chill. And that album, I like that album. That album was pretty fire. There's a lot of songs on there. I think I got introduced to it because I think the first song I saw, well, music video I saw was Coffee in the Morning. Which is really good, which is, you know what I'm saying. I'm more of I'm really into the visuals, especially now. And the reason I probably like this song, and I guess is my old age kicking up on me, is that artists, the the rapper is not trying to sing and the singer's not trying to rap. Everybody's in their lane, and then the song just goes right. So, with that being said, let's get down to business. Now the reason why, usually I don't play music on unless it's some, copyright free music. But the reason why I did that, and I may take a hit for this, but I'll go and edit the stream later so no one will hear the music on the replay. Because that's how YouTube operates. But the reason, um, uh, the reason why I did that is usually today, we're over at CRBJ, and our elders not our supreme elder is feeling under the weather. So we're not over there usually. Shar and Classic Ruby, and the Supreme Elder, they do their show um, over there on CRBJ every week on Wednesday. And he's not feeling well, but that doesn't mean that you still can't go and turn on the radio station on your free time and, listen to the other shows and play, what I'm saying, listen to the music that's on the station. So please, let's still support the Supreme Elder, DJ Music, uh, and the classic R&B jams family. Sean said if you go ahead. But I just wanted to just put it in your mind, the elder, because we do forget sometimes in these internet and YouTube spaces, but we are connected. We still we talk behind the scenes, and he's part of the family. And so please go over this. Please still support the station and the channel um, over there, and so forth. So man, I wanted to play a couple of uh, you know cuts in, not taking any shine away for what they do over there with on the beat and keep the beat, but to pay homage. Um, you know, I hope, man. Now I didn't go running and copyright and CRBJ and then make a magazine about it, and wanted to sell some herbal remedies that'll give you diarrhea if you take too much of it. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. So, what I'm saying? That's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there. So, um, yeah, so we're going to get down into it, but I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. Uh, if you've noticed, there's been a change in the program. There's not been any change. It's just that the elder's a little bit under the weather. So you got to take care of your health, people. Especially as you get older, it's okay that you go to the doctor as a black person. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay that you go to the doctor as a black person. You know what I'm saying? Mm, you know what I mean? So it's okay. You know what I mean? So So now we're going to get into this. This may bore some people because I'm not up here clowning and acting a fool and going in and yelling at somebody or screaming, so forth. But these are my thoughts. You feel free to disagree with my thoughts. You can make a stream about it. You can send me an email and we can talk about it. You can yell and scream to the top of your lungs about it. But these are my thoughts, and these are my thoughts. So welcome to my random thoughts. Uh, I am just DeAndre, and we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about the first law here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this up on screen here. Bring this up on screen here. This is the first law here. Says this first law. No, wrong law. Yeah, I knew I was going to do that. I knew that. Well, since we here now, right? We'll do it. We'll do it reverse, right? All right. So, um, So I was talking about use the surrender tactic, right? Now I'm gonna do a brief just in thing here, right? We do these things a lot. So here's the problem. You do things if you do things instinctively and not knowing what you do, then how can you get better equipped of using the tools, right? So we understand when people are in charge, people aren't in charge, things of that nature, right? So the other thing is that when you're in a confrontation with someone, right? When you're in a when you're in, let's just say, a debate or any type of what you would feel adversarial thing, or even a conversation, argument, or anything in life that puts you in a position of weakness, and you're surrounded on all sides, right? And you can't get things done, right? You need to sometimes ask for help, or you need to surrender, right? Before you're totally decimated. And what I mean by this is, if you have a problem in life, right? Someone's, let's just say we all have people that don't like us necessarily, and sometimes over times for whatever reason we have enemies, right? And especially if you're a content creator on these platforms and these spaces, or let's just say in corporate or in life or whatever, right? Family members, it doesn't matter, right? And people are out to do you harm or something like that. I'm not talking about physical harm because or whatever, because you have to protect your life. But I'm talking about doing things to cause you harm, right? By using the law, Karens, police officers, stuff like that. If you know that you are in a disadvantaged state, there is no need to go out for honor's sake, because you will be totally destroyed. A lot of times you need to quote unquote quote unquote surrender, right? You know what I'm saying? And what I mean surrender to win is, what you do is you surrender, you basically do not allow the person to thoroughly destroy you. So if you have a problem with a person, right? Let's say a coworker at work. You get what I'm saying? And every time you come in, right, or anything that you do, they're reporting to the boss, and the boss is on your butt. The boss is on your butt, and you're not doing anything, right? And you don't remember that you had a blow up with this person, and they felt embarrassed, but they're going to get you back, and they're going to do everything they can to mess you up, right? And then you realize who this person is. The natural instinct is to basically go back at them. You know, the natural instinct is to basically um you know, approach them. Do the same thing that you did before, but this will not work because now you are in a position, you're in a disadvantage because they already have the upper hand, right? So, this is what you should do. You should go up to the person and surrender. And surrendering, whether you feel it or not, whether you care or not, is apologizing to the person. Hey, I don't know what's going on with you. You know, you can say whatever or with myself, but I think we started off on the wrong foot. Even if you were 100% in the right at that time, you take all blame and responsibility. Now, what this does is it disarms the person, but you pay the person no attention. You go about your business. You're surrendering, but you do it in front of an audience. You don't do it privately. You make sure other people hear it within earshot. See, what you're doing is you're appealing to the mercy, like they say, throw yourself on the mercy of the court. You're appealing to public perception. The reason this works is because it's public perception. People are swayed by public perception because an outward show of force is a show of dominance as an example for public perception. Once you do this, you disarm the person because they get it. You've given them what they want to a certain degree. You've appeased their anger, you've appeased their strife. Now you can sit back. And if you want to strike back, it's up to you. Sometimes just moving on and going about your business is fine, right? But I'm talking to the people that are sitting in the petty corner. Me, I'm a petty person. I like to sit in the petty corner. You know what I'm saying? And happy birthday, Jay Sean. Hope you enjoyed yourself. You know what I'm saying? With your BMW. Hate, 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 hate. No, I'm saying, happy birthday, fam. You know what I'm saying? What we 25, bro? We 25? So with that being said, is when you appease a person's anger and you walk lock and step, even if they kind of stay on you, right? Because sometimes it may be so deep rooted that this is going to take some time. This is even in a situation in a relationship, right? Where the the person is argumentative, right? And you don't want to fight all the time, right? Or whatever's going on with them, right? I don't think you should be around a person that fights all the time, but you should sometimes, to calm the situation down, or even if it's just an argument, sometimes the person that's calm and collective can calm the situation down and be clear-headed and and surrender to it. Now you don't need to do this all the time because it is a pain in the butt to keep appeasing someone, but being that it is. Now, surrendering to win and enabling ain't shitness is not the same thing. It's a totally different dynamic because there is a solution at the end of the day that you're trying to reach. And this is all for yourself, not for anybody else, but frankly for yourself. Remember, the 48 laws of power is not derived off of helping anyone but yourself. If I would rename this book, it would be the 48 laws of power of rugged individualism. If you would say this has nothing to do with building a community. This is, you know, introspection of oneself. This is, you cannot save the community until you have saved yourself, if that makes sense. You cannot help anyone until you are able to help yourself. It does not work like that. So you must, P2 times P4 equals P. Okay. And a lot of times is that we take the surrender tactic and it helps enable the behavior, but you're not surrendering to help that person. You're surrendering to help you. Do not take this tactic. Do not take this law 22. Do not take this law and apply it if you are an empathetic or empath type person, because you're already doing it and you're already doing it wrong. This is for self building of oneself. Okay. There's a reason why I play certain songs in succession to get the vibe going so you understand where I'm going with this. When I break out the 48 laws, or I break out the art of war, if I break out the laws of seduction, the reason why I'm breaking these out is so you can apply it for your life, for yourself. And these are the things that I've used and I've applied. And some of these laws I don't even touch because I just have a certain code about myself that I just can't do it, but I know that they work. I don't maliciously go out to get people, but I am petty. So so I'm, what I'm saying, I'm proactive reactive to certain things. So I'm just letting you know. what type of person I am, and I'm in that. I have friends that are empaths. I have friends that are narcissistic. I have friends that are petty like myself, that are vengeful uh people, you know. I have friends that want answers and solutions. They don't want to hold. They believe in accountability. Um, but even with all of those archetypes, the reason why I'm still friends with them is because they have uh, a standard. They have a code about them. You know, I don't look at it as morality, but they have a code, and there's certain things they won't go below and they won't do, and they're all consistent on that same line. And even when I gotta check myself and to see if my pettiness is going too far, I always ask their advice. I always ask their advice. I always ask their advice. And when I ask their advice, it's very, 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 how should I say it? To give me very deep advice, And sometimes they'll encourage me, and sometimes they'll say, if you do it, because they know sometimes I might just go ahead and do it, but they'll give me the pros and the cons. So remember, what I'm saying is this is not for community building whatsoever, right? This is for your individual thing. This is for your household. This is for your own. Before you can help someone else, you must help you, and then you must help the people that are within your immediate grasp that rely on you on a daily basis. Okay, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be pro community and all that other stuff, but remember, you, at the very basis, you can only control what happens to you. Okay, you must move things to affect the environment, therefore. Okay, so use the surrender tactic to transform weakness into power. Okay, now we're going to talk about law number 21. And I hope I pull it up right this time. You know what I'm saying? And I'll pull it up. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. Okay. So no one likes feeling that stupider than the next person. The the trick then is to make your victims feel smart, and not just smart, but smarter than you. Once convinced of this, they will never suspect that you have ulterior motives. Now, this happens a lot in life, right? This happens all the time. I give you a perfect example. Um, a sale. Okay, so a lot of our audience, majority of our audience are women, but a sale. So, how many times have ladies and men, because we like sales too as men, we'll go in the store, we'll get one item, and then we'll leave, right? We'll do that. But if we catch a sale, or we'll come back. I was talking to Shadra, and he went to the store, and we were talking about this was months ago, and he said, "Man, I came back with a whole trunk full of Captain Crunch. They had a sale, so I didn't want to lose money on this." Right now, when you have a sale, no one asks the question. See, I always ask the question. My wife always asks me what's wrong with me, because she said, "What is this?" And I said, "What's going on with it? Why is it so cheap? What's wrong with it?" Right? That's the first thing that I'm asking, because no one gives a perfectly good product away for free or with a sale. But with a sale, they're trying to get rid of their stock. That means that the product didn't sell for the price that it sold for. It's already in the store for a 50 to 100% markup. So they're not trying to lose money. So they offer buy one, get one free, such and such, or whatever. They want to get it out of the store. Or they say, "Hey, do you want a loan for X, Y, and Z? 14% interest rate, blah, blah, blah. Not fixed, but introductory, but you're going to sign up because in 6 months that the loan goes up to 18%." You feel as though you're taking advantage of the system, but they're actually taking advantage of you because the longer that the loan stems for, the more money they make anyway. Okay. A lot of times people get disarmed by appealing to some to people and disarming them. A lot of older people do this a lot because they have age and experience and wisdom, where you think that they're asleep, but they're not asleep. Or a person will play dumb like they didn't hear things, but they did. Unsuspecting, unknowingly, um, you know, doing things. But how do you use these tactics or use these things in for you to be okay, for you to be fine as a defense mechanism? Maybe not as offensive, but as a defense mechanism. And this is how you do it. You don't say everything that's on your mind. You don't show too much emotion when things happen, or you watch people, you observe. Be very observant. Sometimes we're talking so much that we don't learn anything. We don't hear what's going on. We don't understand the connotation that's behind it. We don't understand what's happening. Sometimes we just keep our head down and don't pay attention. But if you play stupid, you learn a lot. And if you realize that, yes, I may have some smarts, but there's someone always smarter, you're able to understand things and to learn more and to take in more. Why is the law 21 and 22 right behind each other, but they sound similar? Because for you to admit that you're not the smartest person in the room, or also for you to surrender sometimes to your enemies, you will come out better in the long term because it's the battle, it's war. You're worrying about a few insignificant scuffles and battles, but you're not worrying about the long term of the war part. A lot of times when we're enabling people, when we know that we're so educated, that we're so smart, that we have the solutions because we've been there with the experience. You're CJ, you're um when we've been there with the experience, we want to know why that this person that doesn't have anything like us, they can get over on us because they played dumb, they played stupid. They played to our ego, and we end up enabling their destructive lifestyle by helping them. They'll play to your mercy, and when that doesn't work because you want a solution to the problem, then they'll play to your guilt, your survivor's guilt. Because especially if you came from the same place, if you supposedly got it out the mud together, supposedly, inherently, they'll bring in everything. And it doesn't matter what it is. And maybe you're on the same level in life. They'll use things when you're talking and they'll let you feel comfortable and let you feel superior because they have ulterior motives to knock you down and use you for whatever purposes they can use you and throw you away when they seem fit. Me personally, um, there's a difference between helping someone and enabling them. And I'm going into the enabling of 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 ain't shitness part of this. And the reason why I'm tying this into play is because people cannot be a human being, a grown person can be quote unquote on a societal level of ain't shit unless there is some enabling. Now, are those people that need help? Yes. Is this system inherently broken? Yes. But we don't live in a world of absolutes. We live in a world of percentages. And if you was to give me a percentage and to say 70% of these people are going to make it, 30% of these people are not going to make it. Now, the type of person I am is it feasible for us to get to 90 percentile? Yes, but that's going to take 10 to 15 years. But but for right now, 70% of the people are going to make it, 30% of these people are not going to make it. Okay. So how do I fix that 70% to get it to 90? You don't. You just kind of let it run its course because it's projected that long as we do these steps that we're going to get there. But we're talking about 20, 30 years. Are you willing to take that? So if you say 30 years and I'm already at 70 30, then I'm raising a 10 percentile every 10 years. So I'll take that. If we know that we're moving forward to get to a 90 percentile, right? Is the system inherently broken? Yes. Are we sitting at a rate of 60 percentile, 40 percentile, and move and sway? Yes. Right. If we take overall Americans, we're talking about people that have housing and stuff like that. Let's remove what just happened with the pandemic, but prior to that, let's say 60 to 70% of Americans were in some type of housing, had some type of job. Was it the type of job that could really they survive on? No, due to goods and services, inflation, markets running rampant. These are outside forces that concern you, that affect you. But your regular day to day is what? So it takes one person in a family of five to be ain't shit, but it takes 3 to 5 people to enable that ain't shitness. Think about that for 1 second. And when I mean a family of five, we're talking about the mother, the father, 3 children. And let's say the children are adults. So say the mother and father have their stuff together, they raise the children are adults, but one of the children, you can pick which one, the oldest, the middle, the youngest one, doesn't matter. Pick a child. It takes one of those children to be ain't shit for 4 other people to enable the ain't shitness. Because the parent inherently is going to want to help their child because they're going to feel responsible. The siblings, to a certain degree, are going to help their parent or help their sibling because they may feel responsible or they feel responsible for their parent. But it takes a village to raise or a community to raise, but it also takes a community to enable in shitness. The reason I'm bringing this up about the enabling part of this is that as much as you want to help someone, there comes a time when you have to dial back that help and they have to help themselves. Okay. And what I mean by that is A lot of us, a lot of times, um, the enablers, the empathetic people, empathetic, I'm sorry, empathetic people, the the empaths per se. We get a rush off of seeing a person do great. We have this fixer of the broken. I was I love science. I love being an engineer. But you know what I love the most? It wasn't when everything was running right because that was boring. It was when something was broke, I got to fix it. When I got to tear down an engine or a pump or install something, right? But, installing something new, it's going to work mostly. And if it doesn't work, it's your fault. Very rarely it comes brand new and is broken. But when you take something that is broken and you fix it, and I think I got this from when I was a kid. I used to sit there and watch this old house when they with Bob Vila when they would remodel old houses. Or I can sit there for hours and on the Discovery Channel watch them pick these old cars out of junkyards of people's backyards. And these people don't know how much these things are worth, but they pull them out and they put it on a flatbed and they restore this car not to its former glory, but they upgrade it to something that is so magnificent that is a work of art. But this takes a lot of time, money, and resources to do this, just like a person. But the difference between a person and an inanimate object is that the person has the will to reject your help because whatever they're going through, they have to kind of fix it themselves. Because as people, our job is truly to survive and thrive and challenge the environment. Not everybody can stay in the village. Not everybody can be a part of the vestiges of society. We are blurring the lines between standards so much that we are wasting time moving forward. Sometimes you have to let people survive on their own or die out. And even being an empath and empathetic, there's a tinge of narcissism in it because you feel as though that you can will this person into being great. That's why I said no one will beg you to be great. But that in itself is not inherently true because then there will be no enabling of ain't shitness. But that is true because the enabling ain't shitness is not begging you to be great. It's trying to force you to be great by shielding you from the environment. And the reason why the person has lasted this long is because there have been people in the environment that has not let this person actually deal with the environment as it is. And if the person does not survive, oh well. There's a difference between help and enabling. We have to understand that. And the reason why I brought those laws up is a lot of times the people that are ain't shit are actually using those very same laws on you. They work for you know, a hammer or an axe work. You can use it on wood, you can use it on a person's head. It's meant to split and cut. It's going to do the same effect. It's how you use it. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. The law itself is not evil. It's how the person uses it, but they work, and it works tremendously well, because we wouldn't be having this conversation about the enabling of anxious shitness, of narcissism, empaths. It's a parasitic relationship. I am guilty myself, because I wouldn't talk about something to this degree unless I had some fringes in it. I have put myself in a lot of situations and positions. What's going on, educated areas? What's going on, fam? Where I have put myself in jeopardy by being an empath, enabling um, a narcissist ain't shitness. You, if you get me and understand. And a lot of times when you look around, and I had to learn this a lot of times the hard way, it's nothing feeling bad when you are helping a person. They need help, and you giving it to them, and you giving it to them. And then one day you just ain't got it to give, right? And they're like, they throw that guilt trip on you, and you take it, and you're like, man, you know what? Let me just give them this. And then you turn around and you're sucking, and you're not going to ask them for help, but they see you sucking, they know you, and they walk past you. Or you're in a situation that you got into, and then they'll say, "Oh, I didn't ask you for help." And then they got everyone laughing at you, and you feel like you're at the bottom of the dumps, and you're alone, and you just angry. But then, because you are an empath, you're quick to realize that it was your fault. You start blaming yourself first. You don't blame them, you blame yourself first, because you saw the signs, because it's not like they didn't show you it, because you were actually trying to help them so they would change and treat you differently than everybody else, because you felt as though the reason why they're acting the way they're acting is because life was too hard on them. Just like life is hard on you want them to see you as different. And there's that tinge of narcissism that empaths do hold, and you can't hold that because you volunteered for that. Because no is easier than yes. Use the same face muscles. I have children, so I tried it. It's easy to say no. I say no all the time. My wife used to laugh about it. I say, why the kids always asking you stuff? Because they know you're gonna say no. I say, yeah, that's true. Facts. Facts. I have people that know me in real life, and things, and I've learned over the years as I get older that the people that you consider close friends are very few and far in between. I have this rule of 5, right? You only need 5 go hard people, and if you can have 3 of them in your life at one time, oh man, you're going to take over the world, right? But you have to be able to recognize that and pour that energy into them. And those people don't want you to pour that much energy into them because they feel a certain way. Hiatus Black said it's hard to give someone the ocean when they're satisfied with a glass of water. That's facts. And I think a lot of times that we need to stay out of the way of the law of natural selection. We're so egotistical that we think we can save everybody. Where you want to save everybody, but then you think I should sacrifice myself for the greater good of everybody else. But how are you saving everybody if you're sacrificing yourself? Because that's not saving everybody. That doesn't matter, right? So it's an act and it's a feeling of narcissism in the highest order with martyrdom, being a martyr, right? Because you'll go down as legend as the greatest person ever, right? Because we see it all the time. Your greatest leaders, like if you look at any leader that went for peace, like Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, and all of those other people, right? You have to sacrifice something and something like that, and then people will talk about you, have holidays, build statues, talk about you as a legend, win peace prizes and stuff like that. While your enemies are still walking around living life, building wealth, and all of this other crazy nonsense. That doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? That that doesn't really make sense to me at all. So with that being said, and a lot of other things, you know, and like I said, these are just random thoughts. Sometimes they all come together and they make sense, and sometimes they don't make sense, or you get the gist of what I'm saying, and But these are my thoughts, and just having conversations with people, um, you know, and things of that nature. Um, as I wind this down, I want to talk about one more thing, and this has been on my mind uh, for a minute, and beware. And it doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter who it is. If you have an inherent trauma or something personal in your life, it's okay to get motivation. It's okay to get inspired to look inside of yourself. Okay. But you're free to support whoever you want. But there comes a time you have to ask yourself, is the person that you're listening to for long periods of time, are they feeding your ego or are they offering you a solution? And are they qualified in their field of study to offer you a solution? Now, experience is one of the qualifications of such, um, but certain things need to be spoken to a professional that will hold whatever you have to say in strict privacy. Please do not buy into a lot of the trauma bonding snake oil salesman, because there's no absolutes in anything in life. That's just not how the universe is built to made. Everything isn't sunshines and rainbows all the time, and everything isn't gloom and doom. Things change. It could be raining, and then by mid afternoon, the sun can be shining like it never happened, and vice versa. I'm like, we having funky weather right now. Right now, and it's hot, Tomorrow, maybe next week, it'll get a cold snap. You don't know. The world is changing. It's evolving, and in evolution, things get a little wonky. Society is changing. Right now, before society didn't care. Now society give too much of a fuck. But balance has to happen to maintain an environment. If environment is totally out of balance, swing from one side to the next and too many extremes, things die out. There's a change going in what I would consider the black community of YouTube or there thereof and the content creators and so forth, and things are getting more business orientated, which is I think is a good thing because if you're here, you need to get compensated for your time and not just from the people that watch you and partake of your content, but the platform itself. That's what the super chat button is, but that's what likes, clicks, views, and subscribes and shares are for, and comments. And to help support the channel, can you please like, comment, and subscribe and share the stream? Thank you very much in advance. As I stare down the barrel of 40, I'm looking at it like right now and it's staring at me in the face. Um, and being about to be on this earth for 4 decades. A lot of self reflection, a lot of things, pros and cons, would I do things differently in certain situations? In a lot of situations, I would. The things that I know now, and if I could go back in a time machine, would I stay on the same path? Yes. Would I do a lot of things differently? 100% totally. But would I change paths? No, because I know that the path I'm on works for me. Could I be more refined in that path? Yes. And I'm always ever learning and ever changing. So maybe me from 5 years from now might say, nah, right? Because you get learn more things. But if you're asking me right now, being on the earth for coming up on 4 decades next month, I myself would say, no, I would not change my path, but I would get more refined with it with the knowledge that I know right now, and certain people I would handle differently. I appreciate every last one of you for coming by and stopping by. I didn't want to be here too long. I didn't want to sit up here and bore you also. We will be returning with the one third show. Um, what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna do some interviews also with the one third show. There's going to be some revamping with it. I'm gonna still keep up these random thought things, and I like them because I get to do them whenever I feel like it. It's not a scheduled thing. Um, but I'm going to be instead of jumping around a lot of topics with the one third show, I think I'm gonna just talk about one topic or two and just give a rundown of what's going on in the news and stuff like that. Or maybe I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, but I appreciate every last one of you for coming by. Um, Once again, let's still support the Supreme Elder DJ Music and go over to CRBJ. Even when there's no show going on, there's other people over there. Um, you know, Even when there's no show going on, I like to listen to the player. It helps support the station, and we ask for a speedy recovery from the elder. Not just he can get back on the show because it's a wonderful show, and with Class Ruby and Just Ask Shar, but also we just want our Supreme Elder back and safe and stuff like that. So tomorrow, like I said, once again, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing a interview over on the Prophet of Thought channel with Brother Xavier. Like I said, the link is pinned in the chat. Please click on that and hit the reminder icon, the little bell thing, so you get a notification when it goes live. It's going to be very informative. I'm gonna be pretty much transparent. I'm not going to be waving on each side or whatever. I'm not going to, push a lot of things. I'm just going to say what they are, and I'm not really going to too much care about people's feelings when I start, because it's my experience at the end of the day. But I want to give the information. Okay. So, uh, y'all have a wonderful and great evening. Oh yeah, by the way, let me check here. We have 8 likes in the thing. So let me do okay. So let me do my jig.
Turner! 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 Turner!
That's it. I'm saying so. No problem. Anytime. Salute to everybody in the chat. Thank everybody. Since we here, no one will beg you to be great, but we will hold you accountable. And the world will hold you accountable. Salute to everybody. And y'all have a lovely evening.